And welcome back, friends, Between Bells on Cheddar News. I'm Baker Machado in New York. If you're looking for a new horror show to binge, we've got one that's sure to keep you on your toes. Netflix's Midnight Mass is from the creative mind of writer and director Mike Flanagan. The 7-episode series tells the tale of a small, isolated island community rocked by the return of a disgraced young man and the arrival of a charismatic priest. New Scream Queen Kate Siegel plays Erin, a woman who returns back to the island, all to find out things aren't like they used to be. Take a look at this. I'm already scared already from this clip already. Welcome to the show, Kate Siegel. Kate, such a fan. We love your work. Congratulations on the success of this show. So Midnight Mass came out on Friday, getting great, amazing reviews so far. What's it like getting this positive response? People so obsessed with this.
It's really touching because every time we make a story like this that is not what's expected, there's always that doubt that no one will watch it. And if they watch it, no one will like it. And so it's amazing to know that there are people out there who love deep character investigation in their genre material. That's just great.
So I'm only one episode in. I'm really nervous about getting through the last 6 episodes here. Are you saying the best thing to do is to binge it, or do you think it's best to maybe watch one episode at a time so that way you don't scare the bejeebus out of yourself?
I am always a fan of scaring the bejeebus out of anybody. But I would say go one at a time until you can't anymore.
All right, love it.
Like, people are generally saying to me, once they hit episode 5, they can't stop.
I believe that. I believe that. And I know where the storyline's going. I know that's how I'm going to feel after episode 5. I'm like, just go. I'm just going to keep going at this point. So for our viewers who are hearing about this for the very first time, let's talk about your character, Erin. She goes back to the small island community where she's from. Tell us a little bit about Erin and this character, because she's really a layered person here.
Erin grew up on this small island, which always had less than 500 people and now has less than 200. And she ran away when she was 16. She wanted to get out of there and see the whole world. And when the show starts, Erin has come back home to the place she swore she'd never return to, and she's pregnant. And I don't want to give too much away, but there are good reasons for both of those things.
All right, so what I think is also so interesting, so I love slasher films because somehow in my mind, I'm like, oh, that's fine, that's not gonna happen. But religious, like horror movies, somehow like really mess with my brain. What do you think is it about religious films that really go well with horror movies and why we get so scared of them as a result?
Well, I think for a lot of people, religion is connected to their childhood. People experienced a lot of these religious rituals in their childhood, going to church with their family, sitting through mass, sitting through all of these holidays in church. And so it's a bit like touching into the things you were afraid of when you were a very little kid, like the monster under the bed, the monster in the closet. And so it feels familiar, but at the same time spooky, which means you can't shake it off as easily.
Oh my gosh, no, I believe that. I totally believe that. I want to talk about your husband, Mike Flanagan, here for a moment, because he's a superstar in this industry. And one thing I found that was really interesting about you is I read you almost gave up on acting until you met Mike. Is that true? And what did that meeting with him make you want to stay and act here? What influence did that have on you?
It's no surprise that being an actor is a really hard profession to get into. There's a lot of people who want to do it and not a lot of room for new people. And I found myself really frustrated, and I forgot why I was doing it, and I forgot what brought me to storytelling in the first place. And in that audition with Mike, he reminded me why it was worthwhile and why my voice deserved to be heard. And he's been doing that since then. He takes people who are generally unrepresented or feel like their voices aren't getting out there, and he gives them a megaphone. He's a genius. He's one of the bravest geniuses I've ever met.
And these pictures are so cute of the two of you. And it's in many ways, you guys are both kind of like horror royalty. In many ways, you guys are like the horror king and queen. But I gotta know, who scares more easily? Are you more scared easily, or is it him?
Oh my God, he's such a baby. I sneak up behind him and say, boo, and he's like crying on the floor. The man is scared. He watches me put in contact lenses and he can't recover for 12 hours. Like,
But
my God.
I
man.
find the juxtaposition, though, so interesting because he writes really scary, terrifying things for a guy that scares so easily.
Yeah, I think the two things are connected, right?
Right.
He knows what's scary, and so he puts it out there so he can see the sausage getting made, and then he's not scared anymore.
Okay, so with all the horror projects you've done, has there ever been a time maybe you got freaked out on set? Was there ever a time like, okay, this is even too scary and messed up for me to be on this?
You know, Oculus was a scary set.
That's a crazy movie.
Yeah, it's a crazy movie about time and reality. And the haunted mirror thing, I really, that gets me in my core. Every time I walk by a mirror at night, I'm certain some spooky Candyman is going back at me. But Oculus, there was always things that weren't what they seemed on set. Like the angles of the walls didn't make sense. And so it just always had an uneasy feel to it.
I agree. I mean, listen, that movie is still to this day, like gives me weird nightmares, even still to this day. One movie I am really excited about that's coming out here soon is Halloween Kills. And it's mainly because Jamie Lee Curtis is like an icon. She's incredible. And it's amazing how she's been able to keep this character from all the Halloween movies going for so long. Do you almost, in a way, kind of hope you're the next Jamie Lee Curtis? That somehow you become this queen of horror and you just, as you continue to get older, you're reprising sort of these spooky characters in so many films.
God, I should be so lucky to have the career of Jamie Lee Curtis. She, as you said, she's an icon. She's like one of the original Final Girls, and we all look up to her. But I mean, I just want to keep working on good writing. I've had the opportunity to really work with some great casts and some great producers and great studios, and I just hope that continues. You know, after so many years of famine, it's nice to be sitting at a feast.
Absolutely, good point. And look, I'm only one episode in. I know I'm gonna finish this thing. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to finish this thing underneath the covers, but either way, our audience is gonna love it. Kate Siegel, such a pleasure to have you on. You guys can watch all 7 episodes of Midnight Mass right now on Netflix.